Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're talking about the DBX compressor, right? Mainly we are dealing with the DBX 160A compressor, but to give you a bit of a history, because this is a studio workhorse compressor, right? And if we look at the history of the DBX brand and their studio compressor, which is most noted, which they most noted as the VCA, or starting the VCA compressor line. They have three main models that has existed. Have in between models, but these are like the main ones that everyone know throughout the history, right? Now we have the first one, which is like the VU version. This is the version people like Dr. Dre and those dudes made popular on like rap vocals, drums, snare, everything. That was this guy, right? It had a particular song, right? So let's see what they say here, right? Now the page I'm looking at here is Overload. They recently launched a DBX plugin with all three. So it kind of made me like wanted to put a video out there for the hardware, because a lot of people just test the drum kit and the snare with the DBX, but I've always wanted to know, like, what does it sound like on vocals, right? Because a lot of us just want to get that compression on vocals. It's a nice budget starter pro kind of compressor that's just out here, right? Now when we look at their lines and how they came down, they had the original VU, which is this thing here, the VU revision version, right? So they said this is the emulation of the original processor with the VU style metering and classic control layout. It was the father of the VCA compressor, right, with a punchy and aggressive sound signature and a rich analog character, right? Again, this is the one that guys like Dre, they were using that one, right? Next, they reinvented it over with an XT version, and I believe at this time is when they probably started to sell. They sold over the company, and they did a revision, which is the XT revision. It offers a more smooth, versatile tone compared to the VU. It delivers a richer low end and a broad harmonic structure thanks to the optional transformer installed in the reference model. It also features the over easy control that enables the soft knee compressor curve, right? So I think when you start to collect hardware, you kind of need to collect all. And the nice thing about the plugin is that they didn't segregate. They just gave you all, because not every day you want to drive the same car, right? Someday you just need a different vehicle or a different tool for the job, right? And today we are reviewing this guy, but the hardware form. I'm gonna put it on now. Have it at 2-to-1 over easy, and oh yes, and we're also using the 80-40-40 into the DBX 286 into the 160, right? But I'm not compressing, de-essing, or adding any high frequency, the EQ on the 286. I'm just slightly gating the back because I'm kind of close to the computer, and then it goes straight in to the 160, right? And this is what it sounds like. I'm gonna try not to over EQ the video. I'm just gonna try to compress it, well, not compress it, but limit it so that it would be loud enough so that you don't have to over raise your stuff, right? But if I take it out, you can hear how light the song. It doesn't really add much to the signal. That's the nice thing about the A revision, right? And if we look at it closely, we could see that there's not really much. So if it's starting off, this is definitely one of the really good compressors here, right? As you can see, it's just threshold. The attack and release is done by the device, and then Then we have that's the volume control, right? Then you also need to decide whether you're doing over easy or you're doing hard knee. And hard knee is when as soon as it sees a signal, it hits it one time. And over easy, it takes a more gradual curve into the compressor. And if we look back here at this first compressor, I think it sounds more closer to this compressor. This compressor have a bit of a song. It adds a slight aggression to the signal, not overly, clear like the 160. I'll try and do a video of this one, because when I purchased this one, I've always tried to look for videos to see if the gate was as good as the 286. We will test that in a video, but today we're talking about the DBX 160 and what it sounds like. And you're hearing it on at the moment. It's really nice and clean. Yeah, it's really nice and clean. It doesn't add any saturation or whatever. So I think for vocals, this is really nice. Now, yes, on the 286, there is a compressor. Let's see if I can pull up that. Right, so on the 286, this is the 286. I'm just basically using the preamp and slightly gate in the back. But there is a compressor. But the thing about this compressor, I think it compresses more in the lower mids kinda, so it does accentuate some of those frequencies as opposed to this more cleaner one. So it allows you to more shape the song inside the door, which is what I really like about this 160. Now, this compressor may not be for everybody, but if you're new and you're not sure while you're creating a song what it should sound like, I think this is definitely a star. Now let's play around with the ratios. And now we have it at 4:1, and as you can hear, we getting a little more lower end body of this song, but it doesn't change the overall song in a very dramatic way. It's very light, it's very subtle. It brings a little more energy to the song. The song feels more fuller without really modifying the song too much. So in the door now, we could still add more compression. We could add a lot of saturation to change the song, and we're not fighting all these multiple saturations, because it's fairly a FET. It's fairly a FET chain I'm using here, with the 80-40-40 being FET clean. Then I'm running it into the DBX solid state clean, and then I'm also using the 160A with add, which is basically transparent. That is their description, and then it gives it a bit of a punch. So it really, kind of raises the signal a bit. So again, guys, this video again is if you ever wanted to know what the DBX 160A sounds like on vocals, this is what it would sound like. Now guys, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, support the channel. And if you want to hear the 266, don't forget to comment, say you want to hear the 266 in action. I think that will kind of force me to make the video a little faster, because I know I'm a bit stickish when it comes to these videos. Alright guys, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Impressive Media Solutions, Kern Scott, I am out.